All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Wednesday, November 5th. It's late night, near midnight here in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining me here for tomorrow's previews of the major sports betting card, including a big night in the NBA. We've got some NHL, college basketball taking a little bit of a backseat, but they got a few games to look at here tomorrow. And we'll also discuss some of the other doings in sports today to start the show, including there's a new mayor in New York, but there's players leaving New York as well. Which quarterback will the Jets blow a draft pick with next time with these 5 draft picks in the future? They made some deals here today during the trade deadline in the NFL. Maybe that is, I don't know if the trades were big enough to warrant the headlines, but we did see a few big trades there, including Sauce Gardner getting dealt to the Colts. Colts are serious, getting a little sauce on their defense for that great season they're having so far. Also, the Raiders traded Jacoby Myers to Jacksonville for a couple of picks and a few other moves out there as well. My man Rashid Shaheed is traded from New Orleans to Seattle here on Tuesday. So maybe it didn't go too wild there on the trade deadline. My Chargers picked up Trevor Penning. Need a tackle here. They've had some issues with their superstar going down with injuries, so they basically have had the whole offensive line go down. It's really cost them a chance maybe to be a decent playoff run team. They've had to kind of repair the entire offensive line as this season has been going on. Also, the old college football. Look, if there's any one college football release of the rankings, right? It's the first one, because the other one they manipulate to try to get other teams excited and involved. It feels like, and try to say, oh, this team might have it, and it feels very fabricated. But the first one seems more important to me: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama, followed by Georgia, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, and Notre Dame. I see a pattern here, right? You've got basically the top teams and Power Four schools. There's no group of five. Well, Memphis is in there, but there's really no representation from the group of five. That may be the way the power rankings shake out, but the top 25 teams all come from Power Four conferences. So, that's okay. I mean, hey, if there's a team that's supposed to step up, then they'll do it and find a way. There'll be one team in the playoff somewhere from in there. Right now, it looks like maybe Memphis could be that team to be the representative of the other 4 conferences. So, we got a goofy poll that came out there, but everybody kind of pays attention. I pay attention to that first one, actually. The others, I really don't. In the future weeks, we may talk about it and mention the teams, but it does seem like kind of a fraudulent poll in some weeks when they maybe throw a bone to one of the other teams. So some baseball news also. Shoto Imanaga opts out of his contract with I think $15 million contract, so had a pretty good run in Chicago. He's going to command some pretty good money for sure. Trevor Story opt out of Boston. Flaherty stays with the Tigers, it looks like. Bieber wants to stay in Toronto, and why not? And a few other teams as well. Rhys Hoskins not going to get picked up by the Brewers there. And let's see who else. White Sox did pick up their option on Luis Robert. Frankie Montas looks like he'll return to the Mets. The Cubs did trade Andrew Kittredge to Baltimore. I think that was that yesterday? It might have been Monday, I think. But just some other news to get going. Let's talk about the games here from Tuesday night. Pretty good night of sports action here. And we also say hello to Mr. Weskers in the chat and Mr. Palachi here today. Thank you for filing in. See if we can get a few more people in here before we start the previews. Got a couple dozen of you in here right now and ready to go. But it was a fun night of basketball action. And hey, I went 3-0 with my college basketball picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. I tried to I really loved the Champions League card today. It didn't do me well, but it came back strong with a 3-0 effort tonight in the college ranks, and that's where you'll see all my focus. Actually, yeah, I love Champions League. I love soccer. I'm probably going to fire again tomorrow with my premium picks, but already 5-1 in the first two nights, and I'll probably just go with a 3-pack tomorrow. It's not a big card in college basketball, but this time of year, that's where I kind of put my focus with so many games here. Take a look here at what I did there last night. Let me take a look at these games that I had. I want to talk a little more college basketball because there were some fun results there last night with some big stars emerging. This is going to be a great college basketball. So, we call it college basketball, right? It really is like minor league basketball. Now, that's no disrespect. That's like a compliment. This is like they're all getting paid. They're all getting money, and they've got 300 teams of minor league basketball. I'd take some of these teams over the G League teams for sure, right? I mean, with the way Duke clamped Duke defensively last night. I was on here talking on the show. They're going to blow out Texas. They did blow out Texas there, but it was in a reverse, right? The defense came in, challenged the Boozer brothers. They got it done. Those guys, I'm talking, right? I'm ready for the NBA already, right? Duke, funny when the concept first came out, one and dones, and how it all went down. And, schools like Duke, some of the schools are like, you know what? We don't want that. We want guys to come in for 4 years. No, you just take it for what you get them. I mean, you're procuring professional talent, and it only takes a year or two to groom these players for their professional debuts. And at Duke, that's what we do now, man. And man, it's fun to watch. Duke is fun to watch. They kind of blew out Texas in the end in a low scoring game for sure. Texas, went cold for sure in the game, and Duke was able to kind of pull away there with a 75-60 win. Duke was outscored, Texas was outscored 43-27 in the second half, and Texas was winning at halftime by 1 point. So, all right, here's the plays I had though there. There you see 5-1 so far there in college basketball, but had here my top plays here. Had the under in San Diego State and Long Beach State. Yeah, I played a little bit of my increased knowledge of San Diego State, with that being one of my favorite teams, if not my favorite team in college basketball. And they clobbered Long Beach 77-45. Unfortunately for the Mountain West and San Diego State, their power rating is already in the dumps because another poor performance out here in Las Vegas last night as UNLV lost in embarrassing fashion, really, when you think about it, because UNLV ends up losing at home to Tennessee Martin. Tennessee Martin was, they were in 325th, I think, in the rankings here coming in. Tennessee Martin are really having they not a power, we know that, but even a down year for them is expected. UNLV loses in Josh Pastner's debut out here, and the Mountain West has lost yesterday with Boise going down to with Hawaii Pacific. Great school, by the way, for for education, for beauty, for sports, but still a Division II team. They beat Boise, and then the night UNLV lost to Tennessee Martin. Well, San Diego State did crush Long Beach State 77-45. They're very good again. Long Beach isn't that good, but the San Diego State, that's going to hurt, and they're going to go through a whole season again of beating up on these Mountain West teams. They might even beat them up even more than usual. They've had some slip-ups over the last couple of years, sometimes to conference teams, despite their great runs. And this year, it feels like it's San Diego State and nothing in the conference. Also, I had Iowa and Robert Morris over as Iowa rocked there at home on the Big Ten Network. They were up 30 early, led by 23 at halftime, and went on and scored 101 points. And I had the over in that one. I was liking Iowa in that game there as well, but that steam came in on Iowa. Also, Texas Tech minus 34.5 over Lindenwood. Don't be afraid. I mean, you can't just broad brush it, but some of these matchups do favor these. It takes a while to get there sometimes on these big spreads, but they end up winning by 38. I wish I had a formula to give you as to how to gauge when the team might be more primed for these blowout wins and how to compare conferences, but we'll just try to do it every day here on the show, at least during the preseason, if you know what I mean, with the non-conference games and the pay-to-play games for some of these teams to come in and get a little paycheck and take a loss. And we always love to laugh when they end up getting the money and getting the win on some of these teams. But I don't know. So far, maybe everything's according to form. In college basketball, there were some other good results here, and we did have some plays as well on the morning steam show that worked out here as well yesterday. Take a look at some of those winners. There I go. Back up to the screen there. But some of the plays here on Night Moves last night. Hello to Timmy Two Shoes in there, talking a little soccer there. Oh, man, I went 1-2 with my premiums. I had some other good plays that I took, but should have flipped them around a little bit. I was on Atletico Madrid. They got it done there. Man, I just you try to pick the best. I think I'm trying to pick the best, and sometimes the play wins. But so thank you, Timmy, for your comments there in the chat on the Champions League there today, because there's more Champions League on Wednesday, and I'm not gonna stop firing on the Champions League here on Wednesday. But we did see, I think we saw certainly Bayern Munich and their win over PSG, the big game today. You have to think that Bayern Munich right now, they're looking pretty good. A long way to go in the Champions League, but man, they got that win. Also, Liverpool beat Real Madrid. They were favored to win that game slightly in that one, and there were some other. Tottenham just rocked Copenhagen in that one. I said Atletico Madrid won. Juventus and Lisbon and Sporting Lisbon tied, and Napoli and Frankfurt at a scoreless tie. All right, do want to talk a little bit about some of these results. So in college basketball, we did bring home some winners here on the Night Move show here last night, and maybe just some other results that kind of stood out there to me yesterday. But late night action, we had the Hawaii and Oregon game. I had the under in that one, with Hawaii coming on the mainland and taking on the Ducks in that one. Hawaii got the money, actually did a nice job, losing just 60-59. It was came down to the wire there, and that's got to be some question marks for Oregon. They came in about a 12-point favorite in that one. The move felt like it was on Hawaii. They kind of got steamed a little bit, and Hawaii did get the job done. But hey, we had the under here on Night Moves yesterday for a winner, and a couple other games that stood out as well here on the card. From Tuesday included the matchup between Oral Roberts and Oklahoma State, as Oklahoma State got the win 95-71 to get the money in that one. Some other teams covered big time. K-State over Greensboro there yesterday, and it looks like the big teams pretty much handled their business. Didn't all get the money. Stanford didn't cover against Portland State, and like I said, UNLV, what a disaster. Nevada out here also beat Louisiana Tech there. Man, that one just missed my card there. Should have went. We won them all, but Nevada there yesterday rocked Louisiana Tech there by 27 to cover 8.5 points. So a short card today in college basketball. I've lined up a few games to give out some picks on. Hey, we did get a winner here on Night Moves in the MACtion yesterday in a rematch of the MAC championship game between Miami of Ohio and Ohio U, and it lived up to the billing. and we did say that one would go under here on Night Moves last night, and the final was 24-20. Ohio gets that win in the pretty big game there in the MAC. There between those two teams. It was slow to go, right? It was 3-3 at halftime, and then still just 10-6 after three quarters. But Ohio was able to get the win in a fourth quarter that featured 4 touchdowns. They couldn't get one touchdown in the first three quarters, but then Ohio got the win 24-20 over Miami of Ohio. NBA action on Tuesday night, and brought you a few winners here on Night Moves, I think. Yesterday, I don't know where to start, but we did have the Warriors here for a winner last night. Said lay it with the Warriors. They barely got it done, but they did cover by a half a point. And late night, Thunder over the Clippers. Yeah, we had them. Thunder got it done. They crushed the Clippers. No stopping this Thunder team right now. Or is there? They're going to go into Portland here, quick turnaround here for them to fly up to Portland. Maybe they'll finally get caught, or will the Thunder just go 82-0 at this point? Because now they're starting to cover. I was going to say they're not only they're winning, they're covering. They're really not covering them all here at this point, but man, they can't be stopped, the Thunder. But they will take Portland tomorrow. That one looks kind of we'll get your take maybe on it there as well. But you can't win them all. And Portland's okay. We'll see what happens in that one. All right, NHL action from Tuesday night. Couldn't miss. I don't think, did we pick them all? Did we go undefeated here on the Night Moves show here? No, we did not. But I think we won them all but one. I want to say. Let me take a look at these results here on Night Moves last night. You're probably here for the hockey. I'm going to say it's 9-1 on the show last night. So if you could pardon me a moment to at least take a victory lap. I did have the over and the Islanders and the Bruins yesterday in a 5-4 win. I had the Dallas Stars in their win. Let me get to the top. Let me go from the top of the card. Flyers and Islanders. We did that. I got the score wrong there. Flyers and Islanders. We had the over on Night Moves in the 5-4 win. That was the 5-4 win. Let me get my script straight here. Had a winner there on the show. Also, Carolina. We had them on the road against the Rangers again at home. What did the Rangers score at home today? Big goal 0 again. They were just shut out. Is that the fourth time the Rangers have already been shut out at home this season? That's a problem. No matter how many wins you can try to pick up on the road, that's a mental block. I mean, how did you do that? We had the Hurricanes. Hey, we had the under with Utah and Buffalo 2-1. Utah got the win in overtime. Then there's that Boston game. It was 4-3 over the Islanders. Hey, that makes us 4-0. Let's do it like that. Then I had the Dallas Stars in that 4-3 win in the shootout over Edmonton. Man, you can take a lot. You could bank on these ties. I promise you, if you went tie in every game right now for the last week, I think you're regulation tie. I think you're well ahead. These are tight games, great games in the National Hockey League. So we had Dallas to improve to 5-0. But then we gave out here Nashville on the puck line. They lost 3-2 in overtime. That made me 6-0 on the day. You know what? We had Tampa Bay. They lost to Colorado. You saw what happened in that game. Colorado there. Close game throughout, but led it 3-1. Tampa Bay got an extra goal there, but could not win. So I think that was my only loss on the 10-game card. We had the Anaheim Ducks 7-3. They rolled over the Panthers there. Also, we had Detroit. Oh, I got you here. Detroit 8-2. I'm losing them as we go. We had the over in that one. Vegas wins at 1-0. Great job by Vegas at home in a 1-0 game. Then we did have the under with the Jets and the Kings to finish. Okay, 8-2. You got me. 8-2. Try to bring you some more winners tonight in the NHL. Thank you to Stop Geo. Nice to see Stop Geo in the chat. Let's get rolling here on Night Moves and preview some of these games for the action here. Get the script going and take a look at the action here for Wednesday night in the NBA. Let's take a look at some of these matchups here. Thank you. Hey, nice to see Timmy Two Shoes in the chat there. Thank you guys. Hey, feel free if you're here and ready to comment with me. I'd like to see your plays here in the chat as I go along, and I'll flash them on the screen, react to them. Give me your picks, props, and tidbits for each game. I like to interact with the chat. I'm pretty lonely here on Night Moves tonight, so let me hear from you in the chat. And you can always keep abreast of all the action with me here every night. Mr. Palachi, ready to go. Here we go. And we'll start in the NBA here on Wednesday night. The Philadelphia 76ers will take on the Cleveland Cavaliers here to start the action on Wednesday night. The Cavaliers are a big 10-point favorite here, but it's been a rugged start here for Philadelphia. We know that. Just 5-1 so far. They've been the talk of the league. Cleveland, meanwhile, just 4-3, but 2-5 against the spread so far. A little bit overrated. Yeah, I think you could say so. Sixers 4-2, despite that 5-1 record. They did have a failure in there, but Sixers 5-1 to the over so far this season. Cleveland's been a bit of an under. They're 2-5 to the under thus far. As far as this matchup is concerned, 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over when Philadelphia plays Cleveland, but Cleveland's been, like I said, an under team. They've gone under in 5 straight. Meanwhile, Philadelphia has been an over, as I said, so far this season. Philadelphia has covered the spread in 5 of the last 6 meetings against Cleveland. Their favorite here, like they've just gotten healthy all of a sudden. Aren't they, the odds makers, paying attention to what's going on here? Or is it a spot that, well, maybe Phillies are full of themselves a little bit? They're probably not all that cracked up to be. And also, given the injury status here coming in, Paul George still questionable, but we haven't heard anything negative that Embiid here for this matchup, right? For the Cavaliers, Darius Garland is questionable. Sam Merrill has been out here for a little bit. He's questionable. Jarrett Allen is questionable too. So there is question marks here, it feels like, on the Cleveland side tonight. So, look, I know that Embiid is, managing that left knee injury here right now and has been sidelined for parts of games, but, at least for now. Let's see if you have it in the chat. But, man, how do you not consider the Sixers here to keep going? Cleveland has had a shaky start, to say the least. We do have some comments from you in the chat in this game. Thank you guys. Okay. Mr. Palachi. No, I think isn't it 6-7? Mr. Palachi, isn't it 6-7, not 76ers? Does anybody know? I tried to be cool. I was like, they gave me a slip for my food order at the place today, and it was 76. It was 6-7. And I got it. I yelled out in the lobby, I'm kind of obnoxious. 6-7. No one knew except I turned to this little 13-year-old kid. He's like, this 6-7. I was like, well, at least somebody gets it. I guess you got to be 15 or under like me to figure it out. Cavs are injured, says Mr. Palachi. Mr. Weskers is totally stoked now, trying to get Jared McClain. Timmy, did I get the spread backwards, right? Did they... what is going on there? 76ers here, 76ers. Cavs no good at home. Look at the chat. They take the points here. If Embiid's out, I'm taking Maxey. I'm looking at the report here. I've got Embiid in this game. Okay. Mr. Weskers said trade Embiid and George. This team's better with Edgecombe, with Oubre, right, with Maxey. It does. You know what? Embiid is he's a good player. We know it. It's easy to make fun of him, Mr. Wesker. I'd take other than you're probably not getting your your money's worth, which should always be the criteria that you do judge it. I don't think we'd ever doubt I don't doubt the heart of Joel Embiid. I do believe that you know there are some players in the league that just have these awful injuries. Maybe they weren't, taking care of themselves when they needed to take care of themselves. We're going to rush all these kids to play pro sports. Let's get them on the proper physical regimen too to make sure that they're healthy. Anyways, look, you guys are all over Philadelphia, obviously, here. So it'd be too easy for me to just pile on. I mean, I think we can agree here a little bit that Philadelphia looks like they're in a pretty good position. I mean, Philadelphia is winning and covering right now. The Cavs are, they're 4-3. I get that, but 2-5. They've been a favorite in every game so far, and they're going to be a favorite again against a Philadelphia team that's arguably 4-0. ATS is a dog. You might remember that game. I keep referring to that game, the 6-point spread that was 6.5, I think it was, and whatever. They basically lost one outright against the spread. So you guys are all over Philly in the chat. So look, Mr. Wesker says he thinks that the old trust the line type of thing. I don't know. I think we're just still grading the Cavs out. Maybe this is the Cavs spot. Maybe the line of the odds makers and the sharps have it right that it is a Cavs blowout finally, that the jig is up for Philadelphia. But it does feel like this team is into it. They're competitive. You know what? Maybe if the Cavs were at full strength, it might be worth it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this one. I'll be that guy. I'll take the over. Like I said, 8 of the last 9 in the series have gone over. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this one. I'm not saying Philly sounds obvious, but I don't know if I can get off of them here, even if it is a situation where maybe it doesn't line up necessarily. Look, Philadelphia played last night. I mean, I know there's a lot of something to that, and they, against the Bulls, and you think of that game. There last night, it was a 113 to 111 there. So, lost the game, but you know what? They didn't cover the spread, did they? I'm sorry that I gave them that cover there. So, let me just be clear, right, on that spread record here, because earlier I said, what did I say? 4-2. They're really 4-1 and whatever. They may have not gotten the money here tonight. That's for sure. It didn't go up to 2. I think I gave them credit there. So, okay, let's see here. And Landon said all the Cavs do is take threes. I'm sure the back-to-back has something to do with the line as well, right? This is still a Philadelphia team, so maybe I'm getting too excited here. And Mr. Weskers loves this Philly team and says that the big stars are killing the team here, actually. Oh, I get it. Chemistry is an important thing. I mean, if you told me, hey, you could have Joel Embiid here, he's a player who doesn't play all the time and he's injured a lot, and a guy I probably would still take those guys. But there is a time in this league where you kind of outweigh your money a little bit, and I don't disagree that is the case with those two players. All right, they're still kind of legends there a little bit. And Mr. Westers said it. Can't get rid of them. Can't get rid of them. Okay, I'm going to go over here in this one, not backing down because of the back-to-back, and didn't cover the spread there yesterday. So let me get the record right there with the Sixers after the loss yesterday. I tried to give them a spread win there, but I think they definitely failed, you guys. Yeah, it was 1.5. DraftKings was 2.5. So you're going to see, and Bet Online was 2. So I guess it did land right real close to the number there yesterday. What were we on here okay, yeah, we were it did touch 3 for a while. Okay. I'm going to take the over, though. Thank you guys in the chat. Set me straight there. All right, next up, we've got the Nets taking on the Pacers here. Oh, man, this one reeks here. Nets coming in here 0-7 right now. The Pacers are a surprising 1-6 here so far. A real rough start here for both teams. The Nets, we weren't expecting much. The Pacers, yes, they've been injured. We maybe were expecting more. In fact, if you think about it, the Pacers are totally underrated, believe it or not. How do you say that, Ramon? Well, they're 1-6, right? They're 5-2 against the spread. Now they've been a dog, obviously, in those situations, most of those situations here. In fact, this is the first game of the season. Indiana is going to be a favorite. As good as they've been here during their little run, I think the bettors and bookmakers saw it coming here a little bit with these Indiana injuries to start. They've been not wrong, but not right. I mean, when you're 1-6 against the spread, or straight up, and 5-2 against the spread, I think it kind of shows that the bookmakers may have been correct in the assessment, but the players have been correct in the assessment as well. Talking about the bettors, if you've been on this Indiana team and they've been covering these numbers now against Brooklyn. Maybe a chance to get healthy here. I mean, if you got a team that's as good as Indiana, and man, it's been frustrating with this start, maybe you could take it out on a team like Brooklyn. But Brooklyn's actually fared okay against Indiana, even if they haven't won a game yet this year. They are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games against Indiana. Could Indiana finally be overrated here? They've covered 4 out of their last 5 despite losing. The only team they beat was Golden State. They beat them at home, and they were a 10.5-point dog in that one too. Been a tough schedule. Look at the teams they played. Golden State, Milwaukee, Minnesota in there. So, maybe it's been a little bit tough for sure for Indiana in some of these matchups. They've got a team that they can beat here, but you got a Brooklyn team that the Pacers are one team that they've fared pretty well against, but still, Brooklyn's 2-5 ATS and 0-3 ATS on the road. This is a very intriguing betting matchup for sure. You guys in the chat are going to comment right now and see what you guys have. AOD is here with me tonight, representing the Detroit basketball Pistons right there in his avatar. And did I see Power Critter in the chat there? All right. And Mr. Palachi says the Pacers are going to win. He says the Nets are not good. Timmy's got the under here. Timmy, okay, Timmy. We might be on the same page here. I'm not sure I want to commit to Brooklyn yet. But Mr. Palachi does like the over. There's Power Critter. All right. And Timmy says he'd have to be under the influence to take the over in this game. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone under. Hey, there's wrong 1268. I don't know what 1268 stands for, but I know that's my birth month and year. So wrong already is a right with me. And I did investigate, folks, the new, I don't know how to say it, but the using the handles there, you see wrong. Like some of these guys have different handles than what I'm used to. I might know you as different names, and I'm not recognizing some folks because YouTube has done something with taking the handle names away, the auxiliary handle names, that you like. I might be Ramon Scott Media, right? On some of the shows, and then I go into another show and I'm like Ramon Scott 2584 or something like this. I'm not sure, but YouTube has made some changes to their the way it seems like the older streams or shows. And now we know Tony's channel has been around a long time, so I don't know why, but maybe because this is a newer show or something. I don't know if the algorithm's that good, but you're not able to use the handle or something like that. I was doing some investigating on that to see why, but that's okay. We got Wesker's Midnight now. See, that's okay, because that's when we do the show, Mr. Weskers, not 2:30 midnight or 12:30, 11:30. Yeah, see, right, Timmy? Yeah. They added it. They just said, hey, you're a 3110 guy. You're a 3110. So, all right. Maybe we can run a petition or something. Okay, I got to make a call here on the game for me. The Nets and the Pacers. I'm gonna take the under for sure in this one with the Nets and the Pacers here. Feels like bad basketball, and maybe that'll be reflective in the score. 236, and these guys have won one game between them. I know that defense is also a factor here in the way it goes, but got to be able to score a little bit too. In fact, you know what? It's I got it wrong. It's actually 232. So let's be fair. Let's be fair on that number. I don't know how I got. It never was 236, guys. It was always open, maybe 233, 233 and a half, if that. And it's right about here right now, 232. I'm still going under here on Night Moves. All right. Hey, we've got, look, if we've got AOD in the chat, we've got to preview the Jazz and the Pistons here. And got the Jazz here in this one coming in 3-4. The Pistons are 5-2 on a 3-game winning streak right now. We know the Pistons, look, we've got them in our rapidly improving team. We know that that's the way it's been going for Detroit here right now, and we're hoping they can keep taking these steps here to keep going. But when you're 5-2 here to start the season, 3-1 against the spread at home. Now Utah's actually done pretty well here, despite being just 3-4 and 1-3 on the road. They're 5-2 against the spread, 4-1 against the spread as an underdog. So we were getting a little greedy with the Pistons. We know the Jazz capable of throwing in a clunker, and we know also that Walker Kessler, he's going to be out for a while with that shoulder injury we found out today. That's a real bummer. Isaiah Collier is questionable in this one for the Pistons. Sasser is out, that hip injury, and Tobias Harris is also out of this game. So missing a little bit here, especially with the Toby out of the game. So this one's actually up to 10.5 here right now, and 230.5. So you guys can comment in the chat if you'd like on this one. But man, even Utah is proving a little bit capable here of getting some numbers of late, covering some big double digits. They just lost at Boston by just 10, or no, they beat Boston. Remember, 105-103 is a 10-point dog. Now they lost at Phoenix, they lost at Charlotte, but those were closely rated games. They did get blown out of those games, and then show up against Boston. So kind of strange there. But Utah, I don't know if they're a total disaster right now. I mean, they have 3 wins in 4 starts. Let's hear from you in the chat here if you want to take a look at this one with Boston. With Utah and Detroit. Utah has actually defeated Detroit in 15 of the last 18 meetings between the two. Now, that's about a decade sample size, so just be aware of that. But still, for whatever reason, Utah hasn't had much of a problem in this matchup. 5 of the last 6 games between these two teams have gone over. I think it's just a tad bit too high. I know there's a chance. I mean, when you're getting blown out at Phoenix and Charlotte, then you have a heroic effort to win at Boston, and you're on the 4th game of a road trip. Maybe this could be a blowout. But Pistons have a couple players sidelined here. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two have gone over. There's some comments from the chat on this one. And Jimmy wants some steam, right? Yeah, Jimmy, we never get any steam at this hour here. Detroit to cover says wrong. Hey, wrong. Let me know if you're under another name here from some of the other shows, or if you're just here on Tony's channel. Really appreciate you. Want to say hello to Dimitri Anderson in there. He likes Keontae. Man, George is just playing great, isn't he? He's got 20-point prop here. Mr. Westwood says, might take Utah money line. Yeah, but you know what? Utah, they played well in that game. I know we know that Boston's definitely having their own set of issues to a certain extent, but that was a great job by Utah. It shows that proved capable. It just makes you wonder how you can lose those games by 20 points to Phoenix and Charlotte. maybe Detroit's just in better form than the Celtics. That's quite possible. Mr. Palachi. I'm going to start calling Mr. Palace because in the Palace. All right. And Mr. Westers likes a long season. There are some, right? Some would throw it out, Mr. Westers. I think you and me agree. Sometimes a team, a franchise, things are kind of set, right, in the ways. And when you take a team into another city, the routine is sometimes the same, right? Because the traveling secretary sets up the same hotels, the same accommodations, the same, and a lot of times you kind of play in the same cities or arrive, and a lot has to do, obviously, with the road trips themselves. But all right, let's see here. Mr. Blotch says, well, we know no Tatum. That's why they've been, but we'll get to Boston here in a second. Oh, Ron. Of course, Ron. Duh. I mean, how could I not figure that out? Wrong. I want to say wrong. Wrong. Ron, you're never wrong. See? Mr. Palachi says that's what it stands for, is the Palace. So does that make Mr. Palachi a Pistons fan as well? David Safford is here. And Celtics will work it out. He says Adam Silver needs to fix the Celtics with something. All right, good job there. I'll go ahead. I'm going to try Utah here. Look, they're covering numbers. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt here. Wouldn't it be so if they get blown out? It's kind of weird. You'd be like, oh man, they get blown out by weak teams, and then, or I don't say weak, subpar teams maybe a little bit, and then they can beat only good teams. Detroit right now is a good team. I mean, nobody can argue that. They're playing pretty well here right now, and they really are a good inside defense, Detroit, aren't they? All right. I think that does it for that one. All right, you guys want to talk Celtics basketball in the chat? I'll talk Celtics basketball with you as the Celtics host division foe Washington here. Boston they've lost 2 in a row after that winning streak they had. Washington's in a real funk right now. Again, currently they're 1-6 right now. Boston just 3-5 so far, and they're not covering numbers at all. Boston's 2-6 ATS, 1-3 against the spread at home and as a favorite. Washington, meanwhile, is 1-6 ATS, 1-3 ATS on the road, 1-6. 1-5. They were favored in the game, 1-5 ATS as an underdog. So they're not really getting much done either. Total here 230. It says there on the screen. I don't know if there's not much pattern so far with these two teams, but I will say that 4 of the last 5 in this series have gone under, and you're talking about familiar opponents, and Boston is 1-3 to the under as a favorite so far. That's probably the direction I would go right here. Washington has lost 8 straight games to Boston. That might not be any surprise, but Boston's just not covering any numbers either. They're going to be hard to be trusted to lay a dozen points probably to anybody here at this point. So we can go to the chat here. Like I said, they've owned the series, but Boston did cover. Washington did cover spreads last year at home against Boston, but on the road here they did lose their last matchup in April by 34 points. But things were getting out of hand already for Washington. We know that. But Washington did cover 17 and 15 points in their home games against Boston last season. So let's go to the chat here. Boston's gone under in 4 of their last 5 games as well coming in. So I think you know where I might be headed in this one. And Mr. Weskers always try to find a wizard spot. I mean, this might be it, but it just feels like the Wizards themselves, too, they're not very good at covering here. And Timmy's got it as an absolute blowout. He says it's got to be an over. See, I've got it as an under, Timmy. You and I are not going to click on that one. Ron G says, take the whiz. Mr. Weskers is with you. Timmy says, I think they're Celtics. I'm not sure though. I'm going to go to another total if you don't mind. I like the under. I can appreciate what um, Timmy is saying there that the Celtics could they really score 130 against them right now? Uh, I mean, so far Boston, I don't think they've scored. Have they scored 130 points yet this season? But we know they're playing the woeful Wizards. Mr. Palaci on the over as well. Ron G not trusting Boston here at this point. Yeah, I mean, look, you're going to truck out uh, uh, a lineup out there. Uh, my man Minot and Queta, these guys continue. I'm going to mention them every show until I don't like them. Let me check the injured list. So Chris Middleton here is on the injured list. In fact, he is out. He is out. Middleton is out with an elbow injury of this game. That's a big factor, but I'm going to go with the under here in this one at 230. The Timberwolves are taking on the Knickerbockers here on Wednesday night. You got the Knicks favored in this one by 5.5 or so. Total 229.5 here. I think it's caught up a little bit. And both teams coming in here, the 4-3 record right now, and both teams riding 2-game winning streaks. Minnesota wins and covers against Charlotte and Brooklyn. I mean, who wouldn't? That is after they lost to the Lakers and Denver. So we know the Timberwolves do come in here with injury concerns to their superstar, Ant Edwards, but he is questionable, at least in this one. He only played, I believe, in 3 games so far this season, still averaging 25 points, 4 rebounds. Mitch Robb, he's still questionable here for the Knicks, but other than that, looks like a clean report. The Knicks are 4-0 against the spread at home so far this season. Meanwhile, Minnesota just 2-5 ATS. However, they are 2-2 ATS on the road, 0-3 ATS at home. This is only the second time they've been underdogs this season. They failed the first time they were an underdog against Denver, 127-114 at home as a 6.5-point dog. But it could get Edwards here back. Like I said, questionable here for this game. The Timberwolves have gone 5-2 to the over so far, 3-1 to the over on the road. But also, they went over in that role as an underdog for the Knicks here. 4-3 to the over thus far. When these two teams meet, 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams, they meet just twice a year, but 5 of the last 7 meetings have gone under, and 9 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams have gone under as well. So, got to really see on that status. It doesn't make sense right now to lay the Knicks. If Edwards is able to come back, that spread might take a little bit of a tumble. So I don't want to saddle you with I kind of favor the Knicks in the algorithm here, maybe as much as one can. Mr. Palaci says no Edwards. I'm showing him as questionable, and I think that's an upgrade in his status. I think he's got a chance to make this lineup. But let me know what you have, Mr. Palaci, on that, because I could help me make my decision. All right. Timmy Two Shoes, he thinks the Wolves can cover this one, but Mr. Palaci's on the Knicks because he thinks that no Edwards is in there. All right. In this one, between the Knicks and the Timberwolves, I'm actually going under here with this matchup at 228. Like I said, you get 229.5 here, but I'm on a third under on this show in 5 games. But I want to see the status too. I'm not going to no Ant, no bet, says Ron G. Go under. If Ant's out, the spread may even go up a little bit here. So I guess sometimes you got to take a chance. But all right. What has happened here? All right. Mr. Palachi says he likes the over if Ant is in. Interesting. Okay. Thank you guys for that. All right, we're making our way through this card. The Houston Rockets going to take on the Memphis Grizzlies here in a good matchup. You got Houston coming in here riding a 4-game winning streak right now. They're 4-2. All of a sudden, after just losing those first 2 games, now they're clicking. Wins and covers over Brooklyn, Toronto, and Boston. They beat Dallas, could not get the money last time out. For Memphis, meanwhile, things are not going good. They've lost 3 straight. They can't cover against anybody. Now you got Angry Jaw ready to be traded. He wants out. Jaw's the leader of the team. I mean, if you're not happy, it's because of you. You're supposed to come in here and lead this team. We know. What can you say? I mean, I love this guy's game on the court. I love it when he's happy and smiling and having a good time. I don't like it, Angry Jaw. I don't like Angry Jaw. It's not going to make this team any better right now. Pouting and whining like a teenager. But we'll see. He should have a big matchup here, I would think. As much as you want to like Amen Thompson, I'm not sure that him and Kogi or whoever's going to guard Ja can do the job. I mean, Ja should have a monster game here, but nobody wants to trust Memphis here. It feels like at this point, the way things are going, feels like a team you want to be fading here. Steven Adams questionable. Jabari Smith is questionable. DFS is out for Houston. Memphis, no new injuries to report. They still, of course, have some players out indefinitely here that are affecting their lineup in general, maybe getting Ja down here a little bit because, hey, everyone likes to win, and right now Memphis is not. They are 3-5. Houston comes in 4-2 so far this season. Houston's 3-0 on the road against the spread so far. Memphis is 0-4 as an underdog against the spread. But are they getting enough points here? I guess that's where you have to make the determination. And we'll see what you guys have in the chat in this one between the Rockies and the Rockets. Oh, boy. Probably you guys are making fun of me in the chat there. The Rockets and the Grizzlies. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Houston's covered the spread in 6 of the last 8 meetings between the teams. Memphis is on 5 straight failures here right now, and Houston is getting the numbers here a little bit. But is it enough? Is it too many, I should say? Let's go to the chat. See what you have here in this one. All right. All right, here we go. And Timmy says Cat can hit his over in this one. Ron says it's 228. He's saying there. Ron G. God, Ron. Sorry, Ron. My man. All right. Towns on his points for Timmy Two-Shoe. And I think Mr. Palachi is going with the Rockets in that other game, in the next game. Okay. I said it. I don't know if anybody else is saying it. Mr. Wesker, right? I kind of have my own vocabulary, right? My own nicknames sometimes, right? Wolves are good on the road. Angry Job, maybe he can go off. If he goes off, I don't know if I like Memphis to cover there. All right. Ja was happy. Ja was good. Takeaway is, well, I don't want to go there. All right. Rockets took out the Raptors in Canada. Remember? Yeah, they hammered them, man. They won 139 to 121, then beat Boston a couple nights later. The Rockets are looking good here all of a sudden. Rockets to cook them up. I'm going with the Rockets for sure. Raptors just took out the Bucks. Thank you, Mr. Palachi. There's another Rockets. Okay. Ron says Houston to cover as well. I think we're on Houston here. Mr. Palachi liking the over. Mr. Palachi really liking those Rockets now. He's got 7 of them there to represent the spread, I think. Give me the Rockets here to cover on the road. I'm going to go ahead and take them here against Memphis. Memphis, like I said, 2-6 ATS right now, and 0-4 against the spread as an underdog. And even though I mentioned Houston 3-0 against the spread on the road, they are 3-2 against the spread as a favorite. Pelicans on the road taking on the Mavs. Both teams struggling here for sure so far. But hey, New Orleans snapped that losing streak with a win last time out, beating Charlotte. And yeah, they got the money last night. 116, 112, covering 3, right, gang? Covering 2, what did we say? That they got the money at least. I know that. And got the win. Dallas here, those lost 2 straight. They did cover that game against Houston the other night, losing by 8 as a 12.5-point dog here. But still, New Orleans just 2-4-1 ATS to go along with that 1-6 spread record. Meanwhile, Dallas, like we said, 2-5, but they are 3-4 against the spread. However, 0-3 to the numbers so far as a favorite. New Orleans has gone over in 3 of 4 road games thus far, but Dallas is 1-4 to the under at home, 2-5 to the under overall, and 0-3 to the under as a favorite. 4 of the last 5 meetings, however, between these two teams have gone over. New Orleans has lost 4 of their last 5 games against Dallas overall, and New Orleans hasn't won on the road in 10 straight games dating back to last season. In fact, they've won just 1 of their last 14 games on the court dating back to last season. So it's been really, really woeful here so far for New Orleans. But Dallas, like we said, off to a little bit of an awkward start as well. Not sure if it's going to get much better here right now with this Dallas franchise. AD is out of this game with a leg injury. Exum is out. Lively is out as well. Zion is out as well. Yves Missy is questionable. So injury concerns in this game for sure. I'm going to go with the over, though, in this one at 225. In fact, it's up to 226.5. So looks like early bettors are feeling the way I am about this one. Like I said, Dallas been an under team thus far, but series is to the over a little bit. Let's go to the chat here and see. You guys might have some comments in this one. All right. Pelicans barely won, says Mr. Palachi, but they won and covered. That's all that matters. The Hornets are injured. Okay. Mr. Palachi, Pelicans are no good with no Zion. Is that it? Dallas hasn't been very good either. Mr. Wesker says a kid having one of those fits where he just doesn't know where the pieces go, right? Has everybody screwed up. Nobody can, Clay can't get going. They've got, Max Christie in there. Flag, you got to, he had a down game, but he has 2 best games, I thought, against Indiana, against Detroit. He wasn't too good in the Houston game, that's for sure. Probably his second worst game of the season, I think. There for Flag. But with Wiggins and Adebayo, PJ, that's what I'm thinking of. PJ and Gafford. I knew I'd get this lineup. Mr. Westrus follows them better than I do. All right, this is a bum fight. And Mr. Wesker, yeah, Clay can still be on the right team. I don't know if this is it. Okay. Timmy says, why is it only 7? Dallas should blow these guys out. You look at this lineup for New Orleans right now. Look, Jeremiah Fears is now I know he didn't have a great game tonight against Charlotte, but I thought he looked pretty good against Denver and the Clippers and even against OKC. He's a player to watch here. He's really caught fire here the last couple of games. I'm not trying to talk him up too much. I'm not all in on Fears, but he has looked pretty good here. Trey Murphy's looked okay as well. And, New Orleans does play a little bit of defense. I can't really sell you on him. I'm going to go with the over here. Just trying to find a way, maybe. Mr. Palacci and I are not agreeing on these totals tonight. Mr. Palacci, you come in here and talk some trash to me when you hit these totals here tomorrow. Mr. Palacci said, didn't Dallas already beat the Pelicans there? I'm trying to remember. Was it the first game? I'm trying to remember. All right, and Mavs played down to the competition. Mavs, yeah, this has been an issue for sure. Really disappointed here with the Mavs right now, but they've covered 3 of their last 5. Trying to make some positives of it. I'm going over. All right, the Heat are taking on the Nuggets in this one. And look at the Nuggets here, 9.5, total 242.5, 243 here in this one. Miami coming in 4-3. I'm pretty impressed so far. Yes, 4-3 doesn't sound great, but they are 5-1-1 against the spread, so they're overachieving here a bit. Denver coming in with a record, as I said, of 4-2 so far. They've done okay here. 2-1 ATS at home, 3-2 ATS as a favorite. Still a big number. Miami, this road trip, though, at the Spurs, at the Lakers, at the Clippers, it's getting a little long. I'm a little bit worried, actually, in this matchup against Denver. It's just that Denver doesn't really have a history or a penchant for blowing teams out. Now, they did beat New Orleans at home by 36 points as a 12-point favorite. And then they lost at Portland. Then they came back and played Sacramento. Couldn't cover against them either. The Heat are doing a nice job, staying in games and getting these spreads even when they lose. So, like I said, 4-1-1 as an underdog so far for the Heat. And seen a great performance last time, strong performance from Davion Mitchell last time out. And let me see here. Denver, Jamal Murray does have an injury tag, but I think he's probable. Yeah, he has a calf injury. Hero is still out here, obviously. And yep. And let's see what you guys got in this one here with Miami and the Nuggets here tonight in this matchup. Denver, 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but these two teams have been overs so far this season. Man, they're combined 9-4 to the over so far this season. Miami's 4-1 to the over on the road. That's a big number, though. Probably reflective of the fact that these two teams have been such solid overs. Miami 4-1 to the over on the road. They've gone over in 14 of their last 18 games, actually dating back to last season. And the Nuggets, also putting in some overs. Miami's just 3-12 against the spread in their last 15 games against Denver. Now that's a good, 7 or 8 years worth of sample size, but also Denver, we know, is a unique place to play where you got to have a certain level of stamina. Coming from Miami, maybe that's why it hasn't worked out for Miami when it comes to playing in Denver. but they sure are playing well right now. This is a game I actually am concerned that Miami might be a little bit out of gas with this unit. It's just, are they getting enough here at 9 points? All right, let's see here. Mr. Palacci said that Mavs, getting rid of Luka, right? That was a decision they made. That was a decision the general manager made. I would say, I don't want to ever trade players that are going to upset the fan. I think the fans probably know best what they want and need in a team, and you see what Luka does now too, and the chemistry of the Lakers just seems insane, right? A team that really sometimes had such bad chemistry in a way, all of a sudden they can put the right pieces together and boom, you look like a genius if you're Rob Pelinka. But we'll talk about the Lakers here at the end. Nuggets for Mr. Palacci, and he also likes the over here. And yeah, but you know what, Mr. Wesker, we know that teams are going to be having, it's trying to determine that human algorithm, right? When they're going to have the good deal and when they're going to have the good mojo, maybe. All right. See if we got some good Heat, good, but no hero. No hero yet. It hasn't been a factor, right? You just got to, at this point, we're just mentioning it in passing because he hasn't played. Hasn't played yet. So we're not worried about it. It'll be a bonus when he comes back because the team is playing pretty well. Okay. Denver should cover here. Off a win. Right. Off a win getting 9 here. No, I'm actually going to go with Denver, and I'm going to, look, so far this season, I know we got some regulars here, and we got look at this. We got a nice crowd here of people, over 4 dozen watching live here. So I think for me, the feeling is still going to be I'm on the Heat long term. I think this is a pretty good situation with this particular group. Look, even Pele Larson had a big game there against the Lakers, right? I know he kind of threw in the next one was kind of a clunker there for sure, but I mentioned those, these guys right now, and the chemistry is good. Bam is hot here right now, and between Wiggins and Normie Powell, the Heat got a little something going on. Denver's still fine. We know that. It's a pretty good matchup, actually, for Murray and for Christian Brown, too. It's actually a pretty good matchup for those guys. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Denver here, but just know that I'm not a fader of the Heat. That's for sure. I like the Heat, but I'm going to say in Denver tonight, it might be a problem. Okay, speaking of, it might be a problem. We just saw, I think it was the last game up, right? I just watched it a few hours ago with the Thunder getting that win on the road, right? That's the other thing. That was the Peacock games that are starting at 11 o'clock Eastern time and 8:10 Pacific time. And that one was, it was in LA. And you are staying in the same time zone here for the Thunder, but you got to travel right now in a plane to Portland, have some dinner take your dinner on the plane, play some cards for a few $100,000. Just kidding. But the Thunder are 5-point favorites here on the road against a Portland team that, hey, I know we think we're doing pretty good. If you're Portland right now, 4-3, no argument here. They're 4-0 against the spread at home, or 4-0 against the spread as an underdog, 3-1 against the spread at home. Portland's been doing a good job here right now. Now, look, Oklahoma City's 8-0. Not only are they 8-0, they weren't covering at first. All of a sudden now they've covered 3 straight. They're wiping out all the numbers. This feels like this is going to be the game, right? This is the first loss coming, huh? Portland can win this game. They're playing well enough. I kind of want to take them. They're off the loss at home to the Lakers here a couple of nights ago, but they did beat Denver here as a dog, 5.5 points at home. Very similar spread matchup. I'm taking Portland here. Might even take them on the money line. We love the Thunder. We know they're the best. Probably the best again. They'll probably go 81-1. This will be the game they'll lose. I'm half kidding, but I am going to want to take Portland here in this game. We can go to the chat and hear from you. I don't know how much more I want to get into it and talk myself off of it. Portland's 3-1 to the over at home. These two teams are a combined 10-5 to the over so far this season. Oklahoma City has covered 11 of the last 16 meetings between the two teams, and they've beaten Portland in 10 straight games. But Portland here looking pretty okay for sure so far. And can't win them all, OKC, especially when you just won the nationally televised game on the road against the Clippers in impressive fashion. We had the Thunder here on Night Moves yesterday. We had them. Steam came in on the Thunder yesterday as well, and they got that money. And Mr. Westwood says you can't even. How do you get in the way of the Thunder at this point? Yeah, I'm going to go with this is the NBA, and they're finally due for a loss. Imagine if they lost 1 out of every 8 games, they'll still have an incredible 1 out of every 9 games. They'll still have an incredible record, right? I mean, it'd be a record-setting pace. So these guys are incredible, right? The chemistry of the team, the camaraderie of it. John Morant if you had John Morant in here, what would happen, right? It'd be a disaster or what? Mr. Palachi on the over. Mr. Western says he thinks that the money will come in on the Thunder here. I'm going with Portland tonight. I think this is the one. I think they could even beat the Thunder here tonight. Easy to say Thunder, but I'm going to say this is the one, the back-to-back late-night travel. I'm going to go with Portland tonight. Portland's playing pretty well here, 3-1 at home. And that Laker loss, remember, that was revenge too. Remember, Portland beat the Lakers in L.A. About a week ago. Okay. Jimmy Juices wants Morant on the Hornets. Mr. Palachi says the Thunder will keep winning, then the Lakers will beat them. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. All right, the Golden State Warriors are going to take on the Sacramento Kings. Warriors are 5-3 coming into this one, and they haven't looked that good on the road. Actually, 1-3 against the spread, but Sacramento is a disaster here. 2-5 overall, 0-2 against the spread as a home favorite. Here they are, favored again, but we know there are some major injury concerns in this game that's going to affect the line, probably affect your bet, affect your thought process on the game. Stephen Curry's out of this game. He's already been ruled out with an illness coming in. Jimmy Butler is questionable here, but for the Kings, it doesn't get any better. Sabonis is questionable with rib soreness. One of the most complete players in the game. My ribs hurt here. Zach LaVine, he's questionable with a back injury. I'm kind of wondering whether these guys. I think LaVine is more than 50% to make it. Sabonis, I'm not so sure here. So Malik Monk is questionable for this game, and those are major concerns on both sides. So that might affect what we're doing here with this one. Golden State is just an underdog for the second time this season. They did cover in their first chance as an underdog in that game against the Clippers that they blew them out at home. Clippers are actually favored by 1.5 in that game, but Golden State still 1-3 against the spread on the road. Is this one of those games where the spread dictates the story? Like we know that the Kings are probably supposed to win this game because Curry is definitely out. If those other players are out, who are you going to trust in these lineups? When I say those other players, I mean key players for Sacramento in Sabonis and Zach LaVine. So let's see here how you have it in the late games here, and does that affect what we're doing with these with this matchup. Oops. Lost my lineups here, and I want to look at them. Okay, so you got to figure if Curry is indeed out, oh man, how is that going to affect things here? Sabonis has a great matchup if he is in, right? Because we know that Quentin Post, although give Post credit for that game last night. He was really impressive. 14 points, 6 rebounds, and did a very good job there. That was his best game, I thought, for the Warriors. He was probably the player of the game, actually, when you think of what players need to do to try to achieve there. Curry, had a strong game for sure. 28 points and for 28 points on 9 of 23 shooting. But like I said, we already know that he is going to be out of this game, already ruled to be sick following the game. I think that's what Kerr said in the post-game conference. So sometimes I got to go a little coach speak for what is the problem, and that maybe they want to give him rest, but they don't want to say so. As long as they say in advance he's out, I guess that is what matters. Mr. Wesker says illness my butt. He scored 28 points last night, and then after the game, Kerr said at the podium that he's out. He said he's sick. I think that's what he said, sick, right? He said he's out. I watched that press conference, and Steve Kerr said he's out. I know that. Let me get some of the comments here from you guys. Also, the Warriors are 3-1 to the over on the road, although they are 0-1 to the under as a dog. Like I said, these two teams are a combined 10-5 to the over. Let's see here. Yep, no Curry, says Mr. Palacci. Mr. Palacci. I hope I'm saying Palacci. I don't know. Maybe it is Palacci. You said it's named after the palace. Maybe it's supposed to be Mr. Palacci. But I like Mr. Palacci. But I'll change it. I'll say it the way you want it to be said, for sure. No one likes their name mispronounced. Everybody gets mine wrong all the time. All right. Mr. Wesker said he's got to wait a little bit here with those, maybe more so with the Kings, because I think we know the Warriors for sure. All right. Mr. Wesker likes the Warriors reserves here a little bit. I just feel like the Warriors on the road, man. But you're right. I mean, there could be a tie game. I'm going over, Timmy. I'm going over, Mr. Palacci. I'm going over there. And Warriors just played that high. It was a high-octane game there yesterday, with that final score, 118 to 107. No, I'd say it. I know what you're talking about. I mean, it obviously was an under last night. I went over, but we had the Warriors here on the show. Okay, I'm going over in this one with the Warriors and the Kings. No matter what with the personnel. I maybe I'm waiting on the personnel too to make my pick on the side, but I'll go over here in this matchup. Mostly, this is always an over series, isn't it, between these two teams? In fact, 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Golden State's 5-2 in the last 7 games against the Kings against the spread. And Jimmy says, did the game open at 2:30 or so here with the Warriors and the Kings? It may have, but I think what happened there was once that Curry was ruled out, I think the spread may have gone down there just a little bit. All right, the Spurs are going to take on the Lakers, and boy, is this a high-profile matchup. The Spurs come in here 5-1. They're on they lost their last game, actually, didn't they, to end that winning streak? It's the Lakers that come in here on a 4-game winning streak right now. Impressive, covering the spread in every game. at Minnesota, at Memphis, at home against Miami. They hit the road again and covered one at Portland for good measure in that game. They were uh, uh, 123 to 115. The Lakers won that game against Portland. Now here they are, just a 2.5-point favorite against the Spurs. Spurs lost to Phoenix the other night, 130 to 118, to snap that undefeated string and get their first loss of the season. But the Spurs are 1-1 against the spread on the road. Lakers 2-0 against the spread as a favorite. 6-2 against the spread overall here. Are these Lakers? I see this total is actually up here to starting to go up here. I'm showing some 228, 229 action. This one we definitely got to move a little bit higher. There. Okay. Luka is probable for this game. He, got the rest that he needed there, and he'll be ready to go actually in this one. We know De'Aaron Fox is out. We got that news today, and so Fox will miss the game here. We're anticipating his possible return. Let me see some other injuries here. Dylan Harper is out. Waters is questionable. Olynyk is questionable. Luke Cornett is questionable as well. Maxi Kleber questionable for the Lakers. Austin Reeves, he's probable. And also, let me see. Yeah, I think that's it for the major injuries here. So let's take a look and see what you have in the chat in this one with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Spurs. Lakers have won 9 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Lakers have gone over in 7 of 8 games so far this season. The Spurs have gone under in 4 of their 6 games this season, but I will say that they are 2-1 to the over on the road, although 0-1 to the under as a dog. But Lakers 4-0 to the over at home so far this season. Spurs, man, they do have the Lakers. The Lakers have the Spurs number here a little bit for sure. I'm going with the Lakers tonight. I'm going to take the Lakers and cover this number, win and cover here against the Spurs. I think the Lakers' radar is up. They know the Spurs are coming in as one of the best teams in the league here so far. We might still question whether or not the Spurs are for real long term. I think they are, right? Whenever you get a superstar that, is his growth, right, and his Ayton can cause you some problem. And we can make fun of Ayton, but he can cause a little bit of problems for Wemby there. But the rest of this club, look, Castle can have a really big game here. So can Vassell as well, because Reeves, he's not a great defender, and LaRabia doesn't show much in defense as well. And Luka lets you blow on by here half the time. So let's see here. Timmy says the Lakers will get up for this, or the Spurs will get up for this one. They've been up for every game, it seems like, so far. I mean, man, they've been terrific. I know they lost that game at Phoenix, but maybe it was a look ahead to this game, which means they could be primed and ready. Is it the Lakers? Is it the over, says Mr. Palachi. Go Lakers. And Mr. Wesker says, what about the refs? Do we have the referee report in this game yet? I don't think we do. All right, I'm going to take the Lakers in this one, and that's a look at the NBA. Boy, that was a long 11-game card. Took a lot of the show. We don't have that much after that. We got 5 on the ice. We got some action here today. What are we going to go to next, gang? Let's go to the Maction, huh? There, after yesterday, we saw that big game between Miami of Ohio and Ohio. We picked the winner there on the under. It almost got a little dicey there, actually, by the end of the game. It was I was feeling pretty cocky there in the first half. when they can only put up a few field goals between them and a touchdown. All right, let's get to it here. College football action for Wednesday night. Kent State, Ball State, both teams come in with 3-5 records into this one. Kent coming in here last out off of a win versus Bowling Green. At home, they were a 7.5-point dog in that one. Kent has covered 3 of their last 4 coming into this one. For Ball, they're coming in off of a road loss at Northern Illinois. They lost 21-7 as a 6.5-point dog. They won before that at home against Akron. So far this season, Ball State 3-0 at home against the spread. Kent State 1-3 against the spread on the road. So maybe that could be a little something in there for sure with the Ball at home. The Kent Golden Flashes are 3-1 to the over on the road so far. Ball, this is only their second time as a favorite this season. They did go over in their first chance there as a favorite. Here's the deal. Kent has lost 18 straight road games dating back 2.5 seasons now. Really dismal. They've also lost 5 of the last 6 games to Kent, or to Ball. So Kent struggling on the road. They don't play this team very well, but problem is here, Ball has lost 9 of their last 12 games dating back to last season. But get this, they're 11-1 against the spread at home in their last 12 home games. How do you not take Ball State here to win this game? I've got to take Ball State. Kent's lost 17 of their last 20 games overall. Ball is covering numbers here all of a sudden. All their home games this season, I got to like Ball State here to beat Kent by more than 2.5 for sure. Feel pretty cocky about this one. All right, and you guys get a chance here to comment on the college football if you'd like. I'm going to take Ball State over Kent State. In this one. Teams played last year. It was 37-35 in favor of Ball. They didn't cover that one. They were actually favored by 3. So that was at Kent. However, last time Ball played Kent at home 2 years ago, it was 34-3. And maybe it'll be that again. I don't know. Maybe it'll go over, though. All right. Nothing from you guys on this one. Let me go to the next MAC game there. The Northern Illinois Huskies will take on the Toledo Rockets. The Huskies broke their losing streak finally last time out. They beat Ball 21-7 at home, as we just mentioned. That snapped that skid. Northern Illinois is 2-6 against the spread this season. 1-3 against the spread on the road, 1-4 against the spread as an underdog. For Toledo, they're undefeated at home, straight up and against the spread, but laying a pretty penny here at -15. That in the MAC, I don't know. We did see a blowout here earlier tonight, but 15 and 42.5 in this one. Toledo's just 4-3 against the spread as a favorite. Toledo's gone 3-1 to the over at home, but Northern Illinois is 2-6 to the under overall this season, 1-3 to the under at home. So 15 and when you're talking about 15 and 42, I mean, I can even do the math. So somewhere around 28-14. That's 14 points. So that's what the expected or anticipated score is supposed to be here between these two teams. Toledo's won the last 3 meetings, including at Northern Illinois last year, 13-6. But they won the game at home here back in 2023, 35-33. Did not get the money in that one as a 13.5-point favorite. Toledo is just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games at home against Northern Illinois, and they've been favored by those, similar spreads. Maybe not quite 15. They were 13.5 in that game that they won by only 2, but before that, they were favored at home by. Let me see. They were favored at home by 13.5, won by 2 back in 2021 is the last meeting here in Toledo as well. So Northern Illinois here not covering numbers, but Toledo usually sleepwalks through this matchup. It seems like they get fired up and on the road, but kind of go through the motions at home a little bit. See what you got here. Jimmy Two Shoes might just tail. He says Toledo sounds right. And was it Northern Illinois that had the big upset last year? In this game, no, Toledo won 13-6 last year in this matchup. They did have one of the most memorable upsets of last season. If you're talking about them when they beat Notre Dame on the road. So, but again, this Northern Illinois team is struggling here right now at 2-6 this season. Last year, they were a pretty good team, much better team last year. So, now impressive that Toledo's covered all those numbers, but they just seem to sleepwalk through this game. I'm going to take Northern Illinois here plus 2 touchdowns. And I think that's a look at college football for today. Let's go to the ice, shall we? We got a 5-game NHL card here tonight on Wednesday with the Utah Mammoth on the road taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs are favored here, $1.65. The total 6.5. Utah has been impressive so far, coming in here 9-4 this season, doing a good. We've constantly talked about this home ice advantage, but they've also done a nice job on the road so far this season. They've won. They've won 5 of 8 on the road. Leafs are 6-2 at home so far this season. But man, the Mammoth have done a real nice job here. Toronto's 11-2 to the over so far this season, 10-2 to the over as a favorite. Utah is 3-7 to the under in their last 10, but they are 4-2 to the over as a dog. I'm not sure I can go over in this game despite some of those trends. I think the way that Utah has been playing here, I might like it under, but let me look at some of the head-to-heads here. I know it's an interconference series here and all, but 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under. 4 of the last 5 years, it's gone under here in Toronto. It's just that Toronto, on this massive overrun, 7-2 to the over at home so far this season. Man, $1.65 here with Toronto right now. They're 3-9 as a puck line favorite. Utah's 5-1 as a puck line underdog, but I think they're making it pay about $1.75 here to get involved with this puck line with Utah here, which is probably appropriate given the fact that, man, all these games that's $1.85 here right now. Toronto's actually gone down here to about $1.50 or so. Maybe there is some value here actually on Toronto. I'm going to take them at $1.50. I do love what Utah has been doing, but Toronto hasn't been awful. They are 6-2 at home, and with this line going down to $1.50 here, I'm going to have to take Toronto. Look, we've been a big supporter of Utah so far, but I think the move is on Utah. Maybe it's a sharp move. Maybe this is a spot. Utah, like I said, 5-2 on their 5-3. I've got them 5-3 on the road here. Toronto's gone over in 8 straight games right now. Toronto coming in off a couple of wins over Pittsburgh and Philly. Utah, meanwhile, beat Buffalo on the road 2-1 last night, so they're the team on the back-to-back here. And that was a tight game. Maybe Leafs in regulation. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Toronto. Utah on the back-to-back. A little bit of a discount here at $1.50. Give me the Maple Leafs in this one. The Blues are taking on the Caps here. Both teams have been struggling, no doubt about it. Caps all of a sudden have lost 4 in a row. They're 6-5-1. The Blues are 4-7-2, but they did snap their losing streak the other night by beating Edmonton at home 3-2. Washington, meanwhile, a 4-game losing streak here. They lost to Ottawa, they lost at Dallas, they lost to the Islanders, and they beat Buffalo. But man, the travel has been tough on the Caps. They played Columbus on the road and won. They lost to Ottawa at home, then they had to go play Dallas on the road. Then they came back home to play the Islanders, then they were at Buffalo, and now they're back at home. They're basically alternating road and home for 6 straight games. That's not fair. No wonder they're struggling. What a brutal schedule. Now, St. Louis has won 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over. St. Louis has gone over in 4 of their 5 road games this year, although they are 1-3 to the under as a dog. Washington has been a slightly under team so far, 5-7 to the under. The Blues are 4-0 as a puck line underdog so far this season. They've got to be live here to win this game, I would think. And at plus a dog, look, Thompson's great. We know he's great, and he's got great numbers. But he's still just 5-3, 1.51 goals against, 93.5% save percentage. For Binnington here, 3-4-2, 87% save percentage coming into this one. I'm taking the Blues. I'm going to take the Blues. I'm a Caps guy. I believe in the Caps, but this seems kind of hard, this schedule right now, going back and forth on the road, at home. The Blues here have played 3 of their last 4 at home. Like I said, they played Edmonton last time out and won, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Blues here. They won here in Washington last time in here. It was earlier this year. It was last season. 5-2. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Blues here as an underdog on Wednesday night. And Jimmy Two Shoes has a anytime goal prop. All right, the Columbus Blue Jackets going to take on the Calgary Flames. The Blue Jackets had been hot, but they got cooled down last time out, losing that winning streak. They lost to the Islanders on the road 3-2. But, hey, Calgary won at Philly the other night to stop a 3-game losing streak and pick up just their 3rd win of the season. Calgary is 3-9-2 so far. Columbus is doing a nice job, 7-5 so far this season. Columbus right now is the favorite. They are undefeated as a favorite this year, although this one's pretty close to call here. Even Calgary right now, good shot at winning one, even though we know they've struggled. They've been an underdog here this season in all 14 of their games. Here, they're 3-11 as a dog so far this season. But they might have a chance here. It feels like in this one against Columbus. They actually fared pretty well against Columbus. For Calgary here, they've let me get the numbers here, but they've won 5 of the last 6 meetings at home against Columbus, even though they've lost 11 of their last 13. This one, maybe they've got a chance. Columbus has lost 8 of their last 12 against Calgary overall, although Columbus is 4-2 on the road so far this season. Calgary's 10-4 to the over, but Columbus is 4-8 to the under so far. I will say, though, that Columbus is 3-3 over under on the road. See if you guys like this one. I'm going to take Calgary to win a game here, actually. So is Timmy Chushu. He likes Calgary here. I'm going to go ahead and take Calgary in this one to beat Columbus tonight. Get another win, a winning streak, 2 in a row. Calgary's gone over in 5 of their last 6. Columbus has gone under in 7 of their last 10. I'm not sure about the total yet. I'm going to go ahead and take the Flames here. All right, the Blackhawks going to take on the Canucks here. A battle of 500 teams. You got the Blackhawks 5-5-3, but they've cooled down a little bit, losing 3 straight here right now. Vancouver comes in 7-7. They're off of a road win at Nashville. They return home after a 3-game road trip in which they won a couple of games. They're a pretty big favorite here with Thatcher Demko in the net for Demko here. He's 5-4 with a 2.57 ERA, 91% save percentage. For Spencer Knight, he's 4-3-2 with a 2.62 goals against and a 91.5% save percentage. Chicago's been so good on the puck line this year. You know, they've been underdogs every game. They're 10-3 on the puck line. They're got to lay here $1.80 to take them here, and I think this is probably going to be a 1-goal game. I don't know if I mind Vancouver's chances here. This is their 4th time as a favorite. They are 2-1 here. They often get the best of Chicago in this head-to-head matchup. Vancouver's won 5 straight games at home against Vancouver. I mentioned Chicago in that great puck line record, right? 10-3 on the puck line, 5-2 on the puck line so far, but they have struggled against Vancouver. They've lost 10 straight games to the Canucks. So, man, the Canucks are at $1.65. I think it'll be a 1-goal game because that's how hard Chicago has been playing so far. But it's just been such a dominant series for Vancouver. I got to take them here. I'm going to take them on the money line, guys. I don't know what else I could do at $1.65. You can go -1. You can go regulation. I don't really do that here on these shows, but I'm going to think that the Vancouver Canucks can at least extend the streak against Chicago that is falling back down to earth here a little bit. And I'll go ahead and lay it with Vancouver. Hey, maybe the price will come down, but it looks like $1.60, $1.65. I'd rather take the Canucks to win than the Blackhawks to hang by 1 or get an empty netter against them or something here. Timmy Two Shoes likes keeper to score. And he also, let's see, I think that's it. One more on the ice tonight. The Sharks will be on the road taking on the Kraken. San Jose comes in here 4-6-3. What's wrong with that? That's not awful. They've won 2 of their last 3. Seattle's lost 2 of their last 3 coming in. First meeting of the season between these 2 teams right now, and Seattle is 4-0 straight up at home. And San Jose, they've been an underdog in every game so far this season, but San Jose been pretty good on the puck line, 9-4 as a puck line dog. Seattle's 6-0 on the puck line at home, 2-0 as a puck line favorite. San Jose is 8-5 to the over, 4-1 to the over on the road, but Seattle's 1-5 to the under at home. But when these 2 teams meet, we've usually seen some goals. 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the 2 teams here in Seattle have gone over. Let's see if you guys have anything here in this one. Sharks won at home last year, 6-2 in the last time these 2 teams faced off, but San Jose did claim a win here last season, 4-2. Total currently at 6/20. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to take the over in this one. All right. And Timmy likes the under. Mr. West goes, what about the Sharks money line? Look, I'm happy with the Sharks' play so far this season. I'm just not sure here. I wouldn't say that it's lacking any value. I don't think there's any problem with the line if you wanted to take San Jose. I think the line is pretty current and pretty right on. I guess that's for us to judge. But uh, Sharks all of a sudden, like I said, they won a couple in a row there. They beat New Jersey, remember, in that great game, and then they beat Colorado. So they were playing a tough schedule, and then they lost to Detroit at home, maybe riding the high of the wins there over New Jersey and Colorado. Seattle was a winner last time out. This is their fifth straight home game right now. They're just 2-2 on this homestand. I'm going to take the over in this one. All right. And Timmy says he likes it under because it's under 6. We know it's got to go 7 to beat, 6. If it lands 6, we know it's a push. Okay, I think that's it for the hockey. Okay, the college basketball card isn't a killer necessarily. Not a lot of great games, so we'll just run through a few here, make some picks because I'm picking them pretty well. So maybe we'll just go with a few selections here on this card today, and I'll have some premiums for sure. Here I'm 5-1 on Tony's picks so far with my college basketball selections. I think it's proven to be one of my best sports here on Tony's Picks. They're the winners from yesterday there. Go over to tonyspicks.com and check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot, and then get signed up. You get my premium picks, and you see all the roster of handicappers here at Tony's Picks. Click on the handicapper of your choice and get signed up. Check out my 3-day pass here. There you see, this is 2024. I finished 25 units up in college basketball. I'm going to beat that this year. So check me out over at tonyspicks.com. Why not grab a 3-day all sports pass with me and check it out? These are my high roller boutique plays over here at Tony's Picks. Absolutely my best plays. You might see them on a lot of shows, a lot of channels, but my top plays of any card are right here at Tony's Picks every day. So please check me out at Tony's Picks. All right, let's go to that college basketball. I think I've got nothing but winners, and the games aren't great. So we'll just cover them. Hey, we can only cover what they play. We're early in the season here. Or most of these teams making their debut. Ryder is not. Ryder is actually, they played on opening night and lost. They're a 20.5-point dog here to Rutgers, and the total here is 141. All right. For the Bronx, like I said, they lost that first game of the season at UVA, 83-67. Fell short on that 26.5-point spread. It did go under in that one, but man, Rutgers looks like they got a pretty decent team here once again. I figure that maybe they could get this money here. Bring up my notes. Let's be ready, Ramon. Come on. All right, yeah. And this one is the early Big Ten start here at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 Pacific time. Also considering the under here, I think, in this matchup with these two teams. Let me take a look at some of these trends, maybe dating back to last year a little bit with these two teams. So Rutgers, they went over in 5 of their last 6 last year. Ryder's gone over in for their last 5 on the road, dating back to last season. But more so, I want to take a look at the series history here, where Ryder is just 1-4 in their last 5 games overall against the Scarlet Knights. And Scarlet Knights were covering numbers at home last season, covering 6 of their last 7. I'm going to go ahead and lay it here with Rutgers minus 20.5 over the Rider Broncs on Wednesday night. And Mr. Weskers is going to agree with me here. All right, South Dakota going to take on the Creighton Blue Jays here in this one. We're at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. South Dakota has played a game so far this season. They played Utah Tech at home and lost 81-79 as a 1.5 point favorite in that opener. It did stay under 164.5 as it finished 160. Creighton, this will be their debut this season. We know how tough they can be. I mean, look, they're a 28-point favorite here at home in this one. But I'm going to end up on the over here in this game. I know it looks a little daunting there at 168, but man, it feels like Creighton can put up a number here for sure against South Dakota. You look at this, I mean, I could figure this one out, right? That'd be almost 100. Almost 100 they're expecting here for Creighton, right? 98, is that right? 98 to 70 would be 168 and the 28-point win. So can Creighton go triple digits here in this one? Creighton destroys these Summit League opponents, and they are regular opponents, right? This is practically their whole non-conference schedule. Play a lot of these Summit League. They've won 20 straight games against them. Creighton's won 11 of their last 12 games at home last season. They've also won 15 of their last 20 overall. South Dakota has failed to win 6 straight games against Big East teams. They're also just 4-16 straight up on the road, their last 20. They have covered 8 of their last 12 last season, but I'm going to go over here in this one. Creighton was a kind of an over there for sure late in the season. And hey, if they get over 100 here, that's going over. I know that. I'm going to go over in this one. All right. Can South Dakota help with an over? Can they score? Yeah, they scored 71 against Utah Tech at home. It was definitely a little bit of a disappointing performance, I think, for South Dakota in that one. All right, I'm going to look at Tarleton and LSU here. Tarleton has played a game so far as well. They played SMU. They got the money. SMU won by 20, 96-76 in Dallas. But Tarleton got the money there in that one. It did go over 144.5 because Tarleton scored 76 points. It had 172 points in that debut game. So, hey, they looked pretty good there. Did Tarleton getting that money? Certainly taking on an LSU team that's going to be favored here by 17 here right now as LSU makes their season debut. LSU has failed to cover in 5 of their last 6 games dating back to last season. Tarleton to get that cover. They've covered 4 of their last 5 actually dating back to last season. Tarleton has lost here 8 straight road games, and LSU is 4-1 against the WAC straight up in their last 5 opportunities here. I'm going over in this one. Man, this one's going to be higher than this, isn't it? 147? Call it 147.5 maybe, but I got to go over here with this one with Tarleton and LSU. I just had it ready in case DeAndre was on the show tonight and wanted to talk a little Tigers basketball. He was getting so frustrated with the football. Okay, maybe the Texas boys can cover again, says Timmy Two Shoe. All right, got some games out west as well. How about this one between two teams that did play also on opening night? I believe Davis did, right? Um, I know North Dakota State did. North Dakota State opened up with a loss at Oregon State 67-65, but they did get the money in that game. And they are a 3-point dog here. Oh, I know what it was. Davis played, I think they played a non-Division One team. Let me see here. Go to the Ken Palm. Like I said, I'll just do it a couple times here at the beginning of the season. I think Ken Palm is a great resource. I don't do any Ken Palm handicapping. I don't take those numbers as a whole, but I do appreciate the algorithm and the numbers of Ken Palm. I actually take the Ken Palm numbers. I take the Massey ratings. I take the Sagarin ratings, and I use my own ratings and kind of come up with a consensus using my ratings for the heaviest. I think that's only fair that I use mine as the heaviest criteria, and then kind of mesh them together and see what comes about it, and then look at the trends and stuff like that. But that's how I kind of go about my own power ratings. So I think for Ken Palm, look, I mean, for the cost, you can't beat Ken Palm. It really, to me, I just love the information, the easy clickability, looking at, the player statistics and things like that. I think it's a great resource, actually, for the information. And you can't beat the curling ratings. I don't know if everybody knows about that secret, but up in the upper left-hand corner of Ken Palm, there's a little curling stone, and if you click on it, it has the ratings of all the players, and it's a pre. And we know you need curling ratings. All right. Let me go with this one here with North Dakota. I was looking up Davis. Who did they play? They played Menlo College and beat them 96-69. So, but North Dakota State, like I said, they did get the money in that first game despite the loss there to Cal Poly, losing by losing to Oregon State, losing by 2 and covering 9. It did go well under in that game. So see what you guys have in this, or you joining me in the chat. Thank you for the comments. College basketball, I know early in the season here, everybody wants to kind of get caught up, and we're still dealing with football a little bit. So I understand if don't get many plays in there in the chat right now. I'm taking Davis to win and cover here against North Dakota State. Give me the Aggies in this one. Too many California teams, right? You see everything. Me and Mr. Weskers hanging out in San Diego and talking, all the from UCSD, San Diego State, University of San Diego. All right, I got one more here, and hey, it's another California school at home here at Gersten Pavilion. Loyola Marymount taking on Eastern Washington. Marymount, 6-point favorite here in this one. And man, it's gone higher than that since I typed in these lines, right? I'll call it 7, but it's definitely gone up. I see some 7.5s. I still see some 6.5s out there as well. Total here 154.5 as the Eagles come in here to take on LMU. Both teams have played on opening night. Eastern Washington played UCLA and covered easy, right? It was 80-74 UCLA. Big question marks. 29.5-point spread. Eastern Washington almost upset them in that game. It was 40-33 at halftime. Eastern Washington was making it dicey there. Meanwhile, for LMU, they clobbered their first opponent, although it was not a lined game. They beat I got to look it up on Ken Palm. LMU beat Lincoln of California 137-54. That's even different. That's even different than playing Menlo, to be honest. So mostly just looking at Eastern Washington here. They did go over in that first game here as well. So look, I think Eastern Washington looked pretty good in that game against UCLA. They struggled at the end of last season. They were not winning. They were not covering. Everything was kind of a disaster there late in the season for for Eastern Washington, but eventually here they got this opening win, so good job. Eastern Washington has lost 15 of their last 17 games on the road overall. They've lost 7 straight, dating back to last season, covering the spread in just 1 of their last 8 basketball games on the court. They have gone over in 5 straight against West Coast Conference teams. LMU is 12-3 straight up their last 15 against the Big Sky. And they've won 11 of their last 15 games at home. I got to go under in this one, guys, at 154. Give me the under with Loyola Marymount at home against Eastern Washington. I think that is it for the for night moves. There, Timmy said it. It's actually a big number. I think he said that before I even put that in there, didn't I? Yep. Timmy says USC is good. Mr. Wesker's going to take Loyola in this one. Thank you, everybody. I really enjoyed spending an hour with you guys here, or an hour, 2 hours nearly here with you guys, just talking sports and sports betting by myself. How do we do that? Great job, you guys. You guys keep me, mostly my guy, the chat all-stars here, the late night all-stars, Timmy, Mr. Weskers. Got to also credit a few other guys in there. Mr. Palachi as well was helping out, keeping me going. Because if I didn't have anybody to chat with, I don't know if we'd last 2 hours. Power Critter was here as well. AOD stopped by before these guys win night. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here on Night Moves. We'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves, but don't forget to join Tony and the guys for the morning show at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific time. Tony and his guests will preview the card in the early morning and get you guys ready for a great sports betting day. All right, it's going to do it here for Night Moves and for Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.